hi to Wooly. Hi. The one person who's watching so far.
Hi, person.
All right, everybody. We'll give people a couple more minutes to jump on, but this is episode 12 of This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate. Steve, what do we have for everybody this week?
We've got Westside Disc Fortress, and then we've got another new company, the Full Turn. They have a Traveler. So they're two brand new discs to the public. These things, so far, I really like both of them, and
We'll get into.
I really like
throwing them later.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did the voting last week. We voted on what you guys wanted to see, and the Full Turn line and the Fortress were neck and neck. So we decided these two discs are actually pretty similar. So we'll go ahead and do them together. We'll give people a couple more minutes to jump on and hang out with us. Again, this is a weekly show. We do it every Wednesday at 5, assuming things don't go wrong in the video editing process. So join us every Wednesday at just about 5 o'clock. We'll be reviewing new discs for you as long as we have new discs to review. And speaking of, we're going to have no shortage of new stuff to review as more and more things keep coming out. We just got a shipment in from Discraft. I'm working through getting it all up on the website. But Steve, let's take a look at some of the new cool stuff we got from Discraft while we're waiting on.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so this is all fancy new things we have from Discraft. We have a couple of those over there, Steve. We'll go through them real quick. We have the brand new Signature Series discs from Discraft for some of their touring players. We got the Nate Doss Buzzes, and Steve has some Val Jenkins Thrashers. These things are dope. They're in some they're Elite Z plastic technically, but they got some fanciness to them. Like this is a nice shimmery gray that's super sweet. We got this gold one. And this Thrasher is maybe the most beautiful disc I've ever seen. If you take a look at that guy. It's just a sweet stamp, some sweet shimmeriness to it. So these will be on there. Whoop. On the website real soon. You can pick them up. It supports Nate Doss and Val Jenkins' tour. Steve, you got a buzz in your hand that I know you're pretty excited about.
Oh yeah. So my big thing, I like blue, but I also like red, white, and blue. And this has best of both worlds. This first off is a blue sparkle buzz, like awesome. Anything shiny, sparkly, I'm loving it. The image itself is actually the traditional buzz acting as the Statue of Liberty. So
why don't you go show that off, Steve?
It is one of the coolest stamps that I've ever seen. We've got the crown, we've got the arm holding papers. Just, oh my goodness, this is such a great stamp.
Yeah, it's a pretty
such
sexy
a great
limited edition stamp. I have that in blue and I've got it in red and I've got about 20 of them. And they're limited edition and they're supporting the U.S. Amateur Disc Golf Championships, which just happened a couple weekends ago. Might have been last weekend, but they support that. So check that out. It helps grow the sport. Awesome disc. The blue sparkle is pretty sweet. We also got a couple new releases of new plastics from Discraft. We got the Machete that we did a review on 2 or 3 weeks ago, so go check that out. The Machete, was the Machete by itself? Yeah, because the Criminal and the Fighter were together. So we did the Discraft Machete about a month ago. It's now released in Big Z plastic. Oh, we got a flag stamp there for you,
Yeah,
16.
dude.
But it's got a sweet new stamp, just like all the normal Big Z plastic stuff. Really cool looking stamp. A dude with breaking some chains with a machete. Again, this is their super overstable control driver. We liked it a lot for those kind of shots you're looking for if you need to fight the wind. Check out that review from a few weeks ago. We also have the Big Z Archer, which is a disc we've kind of had in the queue for a while that we haven't gotten to. We might just have to tell you about later. It's an understable fairway driver. I like it a lot for beginner mid-range, not fairway driver, mid-range. I like it a lot for beginner mid-range, and it's got a sweet new Big Z stamp. So these will be on, I think the Machete and the Archer I just got on the website like 20 minutes ago, so these are available if you want to check them out. Then we have a brand new disc, the Punisher. We haven't gotten a chance to throw it yet, so I can't tell you a lot about it. Discraft number is 1.7, so that's pretty overstable. But we'll get it out. We'll take some tosses at it. It'll be up on the website in the next couple days. Exciting for more new plastic. So rounding it out, Steve, what do you have in your hand that's new?
We've got the newest addition to the little minis that you all know and love. We've got the Comet, we've got the Crank, and we finally have a Zone.
My personal favorite.
The Zone. It's flat like a Zone should be. It's got the nice quick lip there. I'd like to see how far we could get this.
Yeah, I'm
like the
excited
Crank.
to throw
The
that.
Crank is interesting,
The
but
Crank's
the
cool.
Zone is like, dude, if it really fights like it should, this would be the perfect upshot disc for mini disc golf.
Yeah, so we're actually, once we get the EMAC Juniors in a couple of days, courtesy of EMAC himself, we're thank you for that, Eric. We're going to do a little 3-disc challenge with us and a couple other guys. Go play around with just the minis. We'll film some of it and let you guys see it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Just to see how well they work out. And I'm excited to have that Zone. If you guys like me, think they're kind of gimmicky and think they're weird and don't get what it's all about, get one and throw it. It's a lot of fun. Mini golf is actually a blast. We played on the mini baskets at GBO. It was a great time. Steve parked a hole that I have a hard time reaching with drivers normally with a nuke.
Oh, that's
the other
right.
night in Aspen. So they crushed. They're a lot of fun. And we have a mini now. We got these guys in. These are can toppers, just like the Zing minis that are on sale on our site right now. This is a can topper from Discraft. It's a can topper Buzz, molded kind of like a Buzz, not quite like the minis, but these sweet can topper Buzzes. They'll be on the website in the next couple of days as well. And Kyle, we do have Champion Strikes. I'm not sure why your order was being screwy, but if you have any problem, just email Steve. He'll take care of that again. I do have 4 or 5 Champion Strikes on the shelf with some more on the way. All right, let's grab some questions before we get too far in here. See if anybody else asked anything important. You? All right. Kevin, if you will, I'll go check Facebook right when we're done here and make sure we get an answer to you. I thought we were talking to you. We'll get that figured out. We'll get you the disc you won last week. Don't you worry. All right, so guys, make sure you're liking, commenting, asking us questions on this video, and that will get you a chance to win one of 4 discs this week. We're giving away 2 of the Fortresses and 2 of the Travelers that we threw for the review. So again, if you want in on that, ask us some questions. Usually the posts that make me laugh the most are who ends up winning the disc, I'll be honest. So comment, share the video, get more people on here, we'll check it out. We have one more thing we need to talk about before we get into the review. We talked about it last week, but it's our new subscription service. Steve, what can you tell us about discmember.com?
Discmember.com is a new service we've got where we are trying to get new items into the hands of you guys. We are doing, right now, it's $19.99 for a monthly subscription that you're going to get something sent to you every month for just about 20 bucks, and you're going to get brand new plastic, you're going to get brand new discs, you could get some jerseys, you could get gloves, you're going to get a gift card to already start bringing you to, like, oh, I've never thrown Prodigy, all of a sudden I've got this Prodigy, I want to try something else with Prodigy. So we're giving you that option. We're looking really forward to it because there's some really cool stuff that's going to be out there.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. Between Ultimate and Disc Golf, we have about 600 subscriptions already. Maybe I'm a little high on that. It's at least over 400 last time I checked on Friday.
Yeah.
But I think we're close to 5, maybe almost 6 now. So we've got several hundred people subscribed already. Again, and this is for Ultimate or Disc Golf, or both. If you're like Trevor Luna and you want to get both of them, we like people like Trevor. Every month for Disc Golf, you're going to get a new disc. We're hoping, I'm trying to make sure it's a new release disc every month. For the first month, we have the Prodigy X5, which will release within a week of when that box comes out. So it'll be brand new to you guys. I've got nothing confirmed yet, but for August I'm working on something Innova. So I'm going to float that out there. Don't hold me to it, but we're working on something Innova. So the first month, like Steve said, you're going to get a dry fit, you're going to get a Prodigy X5, a $25 gift card. You also get 10% off the website if you have a current subscription. So I didn't even know that last week, but you get a 10% discount on the website if you're a subscribing member. That's totally worth your $20 a month. It goes up to $25 a month if you don't pre-order in June. So if you pre-order in June, you'll get your first box shipped on July 1st, and then on the 1st of the month, every month after that. The Ultimate subscription gets a new Disc Store design disc every other month, and then you also, in those other months, you're going to get some really nice accessories, some other things like that. It's awesome. Check out discmember.com. All right, let's get into the review. We've got the Fortress and the Traveler again. Let's see here. All right, Steve, let's hear. We're going to do the Traveler first. We're going to do it one at a time. Let me see a couple of those guys. So the Full Turn Traveler is a fairway driver from Full Turn Discs, which a buddy of mine out of Branson runs Full Turn. He's a good dude. I've played with him a lot. I like his ideas on disc golf. He's doing a lot to grow the sport in Branson. And this is his plastic company, but it's molded by Perdiscus, which is a company out of Finland that's always made great plastic. It's just been expensive in the States because they have to ship it all from Finland. But it's really solid plastic. I like it a lot. Steve's going to tell us about the Traveler.
All right. So first off, we're gonna start with the speed of 9, glide of 4, high speed turn of 0, and a fade of 2. So they say the Traveler. No path ahead is too daunting for the Traveler. Word about the first disc in the Full Turn line is traveling quickly and should be an important piece in your bag. This overstable distance driver will lead you to the fairway with great accuracy and ease. All great travelers plan ahead and know their route. You should too by adding this disc to your next itinerary. Travel on. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's
well.
pretty solid.
They did well.
So it comes in two plastics, the Express, which is star-ish, and the Priority, which is champion-ish. And again, what are those numbers, Steve?
There's 9402.
So what disc does that make you think of when you hear those numbers?
Thunderbird.
Yeah, that's the first disc I'm thinking. When I hear that, I'm thinking Innova Thunderbird. It's a stable fairway driver. For me, Thunderbirds were fairly overstable. They got a decent amount of hook. But it's a solid disc that you kind of need in your bag for those like 275 to 350 shots where you can't. I'm not gonna, I don't want to mash a distance driver out and go too far. I want to speed down and control a little bit. Let's take a look and see if we have any questions before we go too far and get to the videos. Justin Small Fry Fogelman wants to know what brands will be included in the subscription. So that's going to vary. It depends on what discs are coming out and who gives me some good deals on some of the stuff. So we're working on, we want to include everybody, and we want to rotate through all the major brands. So far I have Prodigy confirmed for the first month, and I'm in talks with Innova, Legacy, and MVP/Axiom/Streamline for some prior months, for some later months. Nothing concrete down the line yet, but we're working on it. So we're going to try to get you a bunch of different kinds of stuff. We're obviously working with Trilogy brands on it too. We're hoping that as we get more subscribers, they get more interested and want to be more involved. So let us know what you want in there, and we'll try to get it for you. That's our goal. All right, again, guys, make sure you're liking, commenting, and asking us questions, sharing the video for your chance to win one of these Full Turn Travelers or one of the Westside Fortresses. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of the video here. Let's see. Get in here nice and close. Augie, that's a good question. We'll ask that while I'm getting set up here. Steve, what's your main go-to big distance driver?
The Shrike, baby. That's when I have to get as far as I can, and it doesn't really matter where I end up because, the Shrike is a flippy disc, so I'm already throwing it on hyzer and expecting it to flip up, but you know, just this weekend I really mashed on one. Luckily, the fairway was basically as wide as it was long, so where it went wasn't a big issue. But yeah, I think I almost hit 475 this weekend with that.
Steve likes to think things like that.
I straight up mashed it, man.
All right, I like that better. All right, and Joey R is going to win the Priority Traveler for his great question. What's your favorite, tall socks or short socks?
As long as it touches the ankle, that's the important part. I can't do the ones like the no-show. Like that just feels like it'd fall off. So.
Yeah, I'm preferring the short socks. I don't want anything up to my knees or nothing like that. I'm pretty warm-blooded as it is, so I would keep the socks low. All right, let's take a look at some videos, guys. Let's be sharing this video, liking, commenting, and get more people here so we can show some more people some cool disc golf discs. All right, so again, this is a fairly stable fairway driver. Numbers were 9402, and let's see what it looks like when Steve throws it on a hyzer, as Steve likes to do.
Steve can only do.
Looks like you clipped a tree on that one.
Look how it bites through the tree.
So 287, that's not bad for smashing it through a tree limb right off the tee box.
Yeah.
That all you have to say?
That's an extreme hyzer. Unless I have a big fairway or this is pure placement shot, that was a lot of hyzer for me throwing this disc. When I threw it flat, I really liked how I knew it wasn't going to be turning over immediately or even at all. Hopefully we have other video that show me not as extreme hyzer so you can see how this goes. But yeah, this disc has it's got some beef to it.
Which again, Steve's left-handed, so that's why that's a hyzer angle. He threw it out of his hand with some angle on it. And it's not going to flip up on its own out of that angle. It's going to hold that angle and be hyzer all the way. So if you need that, again, for a placement shot or getting around a corner, it's going to do that for you. It's not quite Firebird. Actually, this throw, Steve did say, oh, that's like Firebird. Like, well, if you throw anything that steep of an angle with any amount of overstability, it's going to fly like Firebird. But 287 on a hyzer placement shot with a fairway driver, that's kind of what you're looking for.
Yep.
Let's get another hyzer angle here.
There we go. That's the flatter hyzer that I was looking for. It actually held straight for quite some time before it had this really nice, that just felt calm to a certain extent. It wasn't just a huge dump. I felt like it really did continue to glide before it faded out. And the grass was not terribly long, but it was enough that I got like a little tiny skip each time.
It's tall enough and thick enough. We're not getting a lot of skips out here. When you see, I did some more throwing at another field because I needed some more video the next day and on a lot shorter grass, so you'll see more skips here. So not a lot of skip here. But again, not going to flip up too much on its own. It's going to ride the line you put it on and fade out really solidly. Now when you put it on a nice flat angle, so a little bit of anhyzer. So I'm right-handed, so that came out of my hand just over flat. Just a little bit of ante on that. Nice and straight, but then really hyzered out. Came nowhere close to hitting Steve like he was worried about. Again, nice and straight. I like these. These are actually in my bag. I'll tell you guys that. I bagged 2 of these. I can rip on them as hard as I want, flat, and they're just going to ride straight and hyzer out. I know exactly what they're going to do. Super reliable. I love the Perdiscus plastic. 356 is about what I want for these guys on a flex shot, and that's kind of where I'm using them for, is for like 275 to 325, just a little bit over that. I can throw this hard. I know it's not going to go farther than that. This one I got a little more flex on. Turn it over a little bit, but even then, still really hyzers out. 345. Again, super solid, what I'm looking for. And you guys ask this question a lot. These are all discs. We try to throw about 175. I didn't pay enough attention when I pulled these. Both the Travelers are actually 168. So they're a little lighter than what we're normally throwing, so you get a little heavier, you're going to get a little bit more overstability, but they're still really solid even at 168.
At least to say that they're both the same weight.
Yeah.
And then, some of the shots you're going to see it was the blue one, some of the shots it was the orange one. But
I think it was actually 2 to 4 out of shots. Both of yours were this one. 2 of mine were this one. 2 of mine were this one. Same thing with the Fortress. Actually, the VIP was in there a lot more, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I usually like the star plastic.
Not that day.
Not today.
All right, let's see. I think I got a couple flicks up now.
Nice fall, Nate. And the slow-mo.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't have a T-pad and your front foot just goes falling out from underneath you.
Did you catch it, though? The bunny? Did you catch it?
I got real close. I got real close. But I actually still
the
threw
double.
We thought we'd let you guys laugh at that one. It was pretty solid. But I actually got a halfway decent throw off. So that's the priority plastic on a sidearm.
Yeah.
I threw it just a little bit of an ante. So it flew flat, held that ante angle for a little bit, got a little turn out of it because of the angle, and then it faded out really solidly. 275 on a flick with the fairway driver. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I really like these. I had Culverins in my bag before, but these are just a little bit more reliable. I can flick them with a little bit more confidence. They're not going to turn over on me. Even on this next shot, I get a lot more angle on it with the Express one, and it turned quite a bit for me, but still hyzered out at the end. So I put the angle on it, I put the snap on it, and it's still fading out at the end of it. I do something like that with, say, the Drifter, which we'll get to in the next couple weeks, or a Valkyrie. That's going to keep going right. Super consistent, super solid fade. I really like these discs. All right, let's... Josh says if I stay off my knees, I'll get better results. And I agree. That was not intentional. But yeah, that's all the video we got for the Travelers. Let us know what you guys think. Again, keep asking us questions, liking, commenting. We're going to give a couple more of these away. And actually, right now, we're going to go ahead and give the Express Traveler away to Matt Polkamp. Matt wants to know, how often do the discs we review end up in our bags? So, let's see, Steve, what we've done so far. We've got the Sheriff, the Machete, the Trace, the AVR3, the Slammer, the Fighter, the Criminal, the Traveler, the Fortress, Gobi, Bryson, Sarek, the Shrike. I forgot about the Shrike. And there's a couple more in there I'm missing. But out of the disc we review, I'm bagging Shrikes. Those are my main go-to drivers right now too, just like Steve. I'm also bagging these Travelers because I just really like, not just because they're my buddy's company, I actually really like them. They fit the slot in my bag really well next to the Drifter, which we'll get to. I'm really happy with where my fairways are now. But those are the only two that I'm currently bagging. But that's not because I don't like the other discs, just a lot of them are filling similar slots. Like the Machete, the Fighter, and the Criminal are all really similar, and they're not different enough from my Defenders that it's worth me changing. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, immediately the Shrike was in my bag. After getting another 30 to 40 feet farther on a hyzer flip from those videos you guys saw, I was like, yep, there it is. That's my distance driver. And then I have the AVR3. I really like that it's going to go only so far, but it's still a putter. It still goes straight.
Yeah.
But then it's going to sit down for me. It's a big upshot game. It's improved a lot of my upshots. I actually also have a Traveler. It has probably one of the coolest stamps I've ever seen, so that helps. And I know I'm only throwing it so far, so it's just a predictable disc for me at this time. And actually, sometimes I hate it because I'm like, oh, I didn't throw it hard enough because this disc is very overstable for me. But
yeah, which I'll tell you guys, the light blue Express ones, which is this plastic, the star type plastic, are more stable than the other ones. And so I've got one of these priority ones, just a little straighter, matched up next to the light blue Express one. So the priority one, which is like the champion style, is really straight, just that little bit of fade at the end like you're seeing, but then the light blue one is a little more overstable, so if I need that extra fade or it's a little extra windy, I pull that one out. That's the same one Steve has.
Yep.
It's a little more overstable than the Thunderbird.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, where I've seen Thunderbirds fly and they just continue to glide. I just feel like mine, I have to put it up in the air, otherwise it's going to start dropping out of the air. So it's really good for wind. I'm loving it for the wind.
And when you don't quite need a Firebird.
Yeah, because I can't throw a Firebird either. And that's why I don't have a Criminal.
Alrighty, so those are, and do you have Gobies and Serics still?
Oh yeah, yeah. I do have the Gobi and I have the Seric.
And I'm thinking about picking up a Gobi. I like it a lot. We also did really like the Trace, but it's not different enough from our Shrikes or the race that I was throwing. So it's kind of one of those things, we could swap those out and our bags wouldn't be much different, but we're not going to, we're already at like 15 or 16 discs reviewed at this point, and so like that's a full bag right there.
Yeah.
And we had a full bag before, so we're not going to switch everything out because new things come out, but they're really solid choices. There's very few discs we've done so far that I would not suggest buying.
Exactly.
And especially in like just for different situations for different styles of players. Like I personally didn't like the Bryce very much. I'm not going to ever throw it, but it's a great beginner driver. So for different people in different places, different things are what works. The Sheriff is a great distance driver, but again, not very much different from the Shrike, so it's not something that you need both of in your bag. We like them a lot. Alrighty, let's. I'm going to look through some questions, Steve, while you go ahead and read us what the. Well, let's not do it. Let's just look for questions first. Then we'll go. There it is. There's mine. I think it is. Alrighty. So, Justin wants to know what our go-to forehand discs are.
Actually, I've forehanded this Traveler before, and it's as you saw Nate throw, and it came back every time for when at the angles that he was throwing them on. When I'm in an open fairway, I have a Prodigy D3, and I have a Dynamic Disc Enforcer.
I'd say your D3 is probably your.
It's my farthest distance. Yeah,
like that's the one I usually see you pull out if you really need forehand.
Yeah, if I really need to get distance, I'm gonna throw that D3. But then upshots, I've got a Buzz OS, and I've got the Firebird. But at the same time, the Enforcer is so overstable that I basically don't need the Firebird. It's just so crazy overstable. It's awesome though. I'd really enjoy throwing it. So those are my go-to.
For me, if I had to pick go-tos for bigger distance, I'm probably throwing my Defenders because I can rely on them more. And then little shorter distances, upshot-ish or short flicks, I'm throwing my Felons. They're basically the same disc, just different speed.
Mm-hmm.
I like flicking my Shrikes, and I can get more distance out of them. I'm just still learning them to be a little more consistent with them. And Josh, we've said it 100 times, we'll say it again. Our favorite backhand discs are the Shrikes. That's what we're throwing for our big backhand distance for sure. All right. Augie wants to know how many discs we usually carry in our bags.
Honestly, I'm about to get like one of these weekend bags and just have 4 or 5 discs.
That's not the answer to the question. There are 22 discs in my competition bag.
I think I am at 20 or 22 as well. And then I add 3 full bottles of water to that. And by that time, you're basically carrying a small child.
But we're going to do a bag review here in a couple weeks whenever I get the new Fossa bags in. You're going to help me pick my new disc golf bag. Because my Ranger has been great to me for 4 years. But it's time for a new bag. So we're going to let you guys help me pick that out, and we'll show you some of the new cool bags that are coming out. Including, you might have a bag coming out That's
Wink, wink.
that's an insider tip.
Wink, wink.
All right, guys, keep liking, sharing, and commenting the video. We're going to delve into the Fortress and see how it compares to the Traveler. So, Steve, why don't you tell us how the Fortress is supposed to be?
All right. Westside says this about the Fortress. Fortress is a combination of speed, control, and stability. It is designed to be the workhorse for long fairway drives, hyzers, and even flex shots. It's guaranteed that wind will not conquer your Fortress.
Also, Steve, Chris Lewandowski tells you to get a nutsack. Which the nutsack is a brand of disc golf bag is just a little pouch that has room for like 3 or 4 discs. So funny joke, Chris. We appreciate it. Steve, what's the numbers on the Fortress?
The numbers, you got 10 speed, you have a 4 glide, you have 0 high-speed turn, and you have 3 fade.
And Wayne, if your bag is held together by duct tape, it sounds like you need a new bag too. So you should check out all of our bag options on our website. We've got pretty much all the main brands that we carry. We have all of their bags. We have Upper Park. We have Fossa. We've got all sorts of stuff, so check those out on our website too. So I'm going to go ahead and give one of these Fortresses away to, I believe it was Becky King Tamblin. She asked a good question. We've answered it a couple times in some of our old videos, but it doesn't hurt to hit it again. She says stable, overstable. New to disc golf. What does those terms mean? So Steve, when we use the phrase stable, what does stable technically mean?
The technical term for stable is its ability to hold a straight line.
So if a disc is perfectly stable, it goes dead straight and doesn't turn either way. So a lot of people will use the term stable to also mean overstable. And what does overstable mean?
Overstability is the disc wanting to fight against the rotation of the disc. So a right-hand backhand throw is spinning clockwise, and it's fighting counterclockwise.
To the left.
To the left. Then the opposite is true for left-handed throw.
So, for example, overstable is dead straight ahead. Overstable means it wants to fight left. Then understable means it's going in the direction of the spin to the right for a right-handed backhanded player. So anything that has negative turn is going to be more understable and want to drift right. Or that'll also mean it's easier for lower arm speed players to throw it properly. And yeah, Wayne, that is assuming you throwing the disc flat. You put the hyzer angle on it that Steve likes to do, and you can make any disc a hyzer disc. So again, overstable wants to crash left for right-handed backhanded players. Understable wants to go right, and stable is dead straight. So both of these discs that we have today are overstable fairway drivers. And again, anybody who's won, Becky, and I think, who else did I say? Matt, and I thought we had one more.
I missed it.
I think I gave it to Augie for a socks question.
Augie.
So Matt, Augie, and Becky so far. We've got one more Fortress to give away. So check out, keep asking us questions, and we'll answer those. Hit us up on Facebook or email service@discstore to claim your prizes, and we'll get those out to you. Before we get into videos, Frank Bennett asked us the idea the price point will be on the new affordable DD backpack. Did you see that backpack yet, Steve?
I didn't see it yet, no.
It's in their new After Hours video. You should check it out. Those are going to be the Trooper. They haven't officially announced anything, but I can tell you that I was told they're going to be somewhere around like $39.99 is the plan.
So it's like a BP3.
Yeah, it's going to be a BP3 style bag.
Cool.
Cheaper. They even admitted it's probably going to kill their sniper backpack. It's still going to fit 12 to 15 discs, have a lot of storage. It's a pretty sweet backpack that I'm excited to get in. All right, let's check out some video of the Fortress. It's pretty similar to the Traveler, numbers-wise, and let's see if it flies anywhere close to it. We have Steve up first again.
So that was, hyzer, as I do. And I'd say I was trying to have a very clean release, but I was definitely putting some stank on this throw. And I was very surprised that I even got 298. It held for a very long time straight, but then it just works. It works its way over. It's not Firebird where it just dies.
Yeah.
This is really, and I'd say if I was throwing this into at least a 10-mile-an-hour headwind, I would just be dropping bombs. Like it's just overstable enough.
And I would say that about both of these, is the Traveler and the Fortress. Like, they're overstable enough. They're not crazy overstable where they're hard to control, but they're overstable enough that I trust them into some pretty beefy winds.
Yep.
Like, they're reliable. They've got enough stability that you can throw them into a headwind and you're fine. Let's see if on I think this is a wider hyzer angle from Steve.
That's got to be 300. Come on. No, come on.
Close.
See, so well
That's a pretty steep angle with a 10-speed disc to still be getting 300 is a pretty decent pop. Like, they've got some pretty decent glide. What else you want to say about your throw there, Steve?
I was actually aiming for Nate, if you can see him.
You got within like 15 feet.
Yeah,
so
that makes me happy.
That's a pretty controllable, accurate drive. Because, I was marking your last disc, so yeah, pretty close. But yeah, I feel like compared to the Traveler, this has got just a little bit more finish on it. We'll take a look at some of my throws and we'll give you a little bit more comparison. But yeah,
I felt a little more glide, to be honest.
It's got a little more glide, it's got a little more speed, and I think it's got a little more hyzer, which is what you would expect, because the numbers are one speed faster and one tick more overstable.
Yep.
So what you would expect. I think I get a little more of a flat shot with the tournament plastic one. And yeah, just holds straight for a decent ways and then just fades out. Really reliable, solid fairway disc. When we were throwing these, I kind of told Steve I was sad I'd put the Travelers in my bag already, because these are pretty sweet. One of the things I said is these are everything I wanted my culverins to be. I wanted my culverins to be a little more overstable than they are. And this fits that slot really nicely. Again, 320 with my fairway drivers is kind of the distance you're looking to hit, because anything more than 320, I'm busting out a strike or a defender anyway. So that's the sweet spot where I want to be hitting. And we throw a little bit more of a flex line, get it turned over a little bit. Still hyzering out really solidly when you don't fall over, which helps. So 335, again, that's about all the pop I want to put on these. I mean, any more than that, and that's, again, distance driver territory. I mean, I'm sure guys like, Paul Macbeth and Ricky Wysocki can probably throw these things about 420, but I don't need to. So I fit the slot in my bag, right about 335 on a nice little, that's slightly in hyzer, turns a little bit, and then really solidly fades out. I'm pretty happy with that. Before we go too much farther, UDisc, we need to talk about them a little bit. UDisc hooked us up with some free pro accounts so we can measure all of our throws, keep track of it all. They have some really great features: course searching, scorecard, sharing your scorecards with your friends, keeps your stats over long periods of time. It's a great app. They do the live scoring for all the Pro Tour events too, which is really cool. Check out UDisc, download the app, get the pro account. They're super sweet. And all right, some forehands.
I'm going to keep thinking you're going to slip every time now that
Lack of T-pads on my forehands happens sometimes. So this one I got a little high, but I got it on a pretty flat release, a little bit anhyzer, held straight, and then crashed out again at the end. Again, a little bit more overstable, so it cut out a little sooner than the Traveler did. But it's, again, solid 275. If I'm looking for more than that on a flick, I'm throwing a strike. So that's what I want out of a fairway driver. Nice, reliably overstable, super solid. And if I get a little more of a flex line on it, a little bit more overstability, you can see it work a little bit left and then crash out right super reliably. And again, this is where the shorter grass is, so I got a little bit more skip out of it. Skip's a lot more reliant on the ground than the disc necessarily, and it's more of an angle thing. But 284, again, it's a solid flick for me. Even with distance drivers, my flick's maxing out around like 340, maybe 350 on a good day. So that's what I'm looking for. And yeah, the numbers on it, Augie asked us again, is 10 speed, 4 glide, 0 turn, 3 fade. And Normally, I'll tell you that Westside discs are more understable than they say they are. I think they got this one spot on.
Yay!
For generally, but they're reliably more flippy than they say they are. So that's like they're consistent. But this one, I actually think they're dead on. Like that's what it flies like. Again, the numbers on the Traveler were 9402, and I feel like this does fly just a tick faster, just a tick more stable. But Steve, what do you think about the Fortress compared to the Traveler? Do they feel pretty similar to you? Was one? How'd you feel about one
I really
versus the
feel
other?
like the Traveler has a different grip than the Fortress.
It does. It has kind of an interesting rim. If you guys didn't see that earlier, it's the edge kind of dives off a little bit.
It's got this extra part to the nose where it really just slopes down.
Which was kind of weird when I was throwing it at first, but it lets it feel faster and fly faster, but still fit in your hand a little more comfortably. I like it.
Yeah, I did take the Traveler and put it in the bag. Half of it was the cool stamp. Yeah, I didn't get to try the Fortress yet, but honestly, I would say I would grab both of them, put them in the bag, and I would use the Traveler for one where I need to not go very far, instead of try and push a boundary or try and get over something with the Fortress. I just think I could get a little more distance with the Fortress because of the extra glide that it has.
Yeah. And again, it's just kind of one of those things where like you probably don't need to buy both of these. You can pick one or the other, and they fill that slot in your bag really well. Slot next to like a Thunderbird, maybe like a Predators are probably a little more overstable than these are, but it's like a slower Surge, I'd say. Maybe an Avenger, pretty close to it. This is about the same numbers as an Avenger. Those kind of discs. We're looking at. These are more stable than the Convict for sure.
Yes.
But not quite Felon. So kind of in between the Convict and the Felon, if you're looking at DD, probably something like an F2 from Prodigy. I haven't thrown enough Prodigy to really give you a good example. Roughly like a Tesla from MVP. Just a really solid, overstable fairway driver. Everybody needs a disc like this in their bag. Either one of these discs are great options. They're solid for forehand, solid for backhand. Just a good all-around, overstable fairway driver. Trust it in the wind, and it's going to go where you want it to go. All right, so Shane wants to know, are overstable discs good for forehands? What's your thoughts on forehands, Steve?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm using when I'm throwing a forehand. And that's because the initial velocity you're putting on a disc, if you're throwing an understable disc and you're not putting hyzer on it, having it below half or below flat, that is how you're going to have to throw an understable disc, because you're putting it faster, and that initial time it's going faster than what the disc is designed. So if you throw an overstable disc either on an anhyzer or flat, and you're able to not have it just turn over into a roller, that's what's going to work for you. It's either very fast or you're starting to throw things on a hyzer.
And for most people, their forehand is not like, most people's backhand is smoother than their forehand, so they can put a little bit more control over the disc, and so you can get those hyzer flips with your backhand with understable disc more easily. I prefer overstable discs for my forehand because it's more consistent. I can put my defenders or this disc or felons on that anti-line, know when they're going to crash out, and it's just more controllable for me. I am working on starting to flick my strikes, which are more of an stable to understable disc, but I have to hyzer flip them up, and I'm still working on figuring out exactly how to do that well. But overstable discs are just easier to control for most people on their flicks, because your flick just has more torque on it than a backhand does. Your backhand has a nice clean snap, and your flick, you're kind of forcing it into it a little more, and so it's just easier to control that with more overstable disc for most people. Not that you can't flick understable disc, because I like hyzer flipping my strikes, like I said, but it's just more difficult to do. All right. What else we got here? Kevin asks, what full turn disc would you use if you drive with a Wraith or a Crate from Omaha? So full turn has the Traveler and the Drifter. They've only been around for about a year as a company, so they only have 4 molds out. One's a putter, one's a mid-range, which we'll get to in a couple weeks. Both of them are speed 9 drivers, so none of them are going to be quite Wraith or Crate. Not quite fast enough, but of the 2 that's available, the Traveler, which the Travelers are on the website right now, you can go pick those up, support my buddy Jason, and so are the Fortresses, support DD, both great companies. The Drifter is a little more understable. I throw a lot more flip-up hyzers with it, like I do with my Wraiths. So that's probably the most comparable disc. What do you think, Steve? Of the discs available,
of those 2 discs, just because of the overstability, I would have to say the Traveler is going to be closer to your Wraith. Just it's going to finish at the end. It's basically all you can do.
Steve's been throwing some really stable Wraiths.
I'm serious.
And hyzer.
Alright, that could be the issue, man. You never know.
Wraiths were my go-to drivers before I switched to Strikes out, and I definitely see the Drifters closer. I like the Drifter a lot. We'll get to it in a minute. It's also in my bag. It's just the next step understable from the Traveler. I like those a lot too. All right, we need some more good questions so we can give this last Fortress away. I think which Fortress did I give away already?
I was actually going to ask you that.
We'll say that she got the VIP one. We
Okay.
got the tournament one. Oh no, I gave away the tournament one. That's what I meant. It's down here in the bottom.
Okay.
So I have to give this VIP Fortress away. Steve, you got a fun way to give this away for people who are still here? We have a good question or a good way to get people interactive? Kind of sprung that on you.
Yeah. Let's hear like the worst score that they've ever got on a hole.
All right.
Or,
all right.
Like it could be like how many trees you caught.
Let's do give us the course and the hole where you've had your worst score.
There you go.
Let's hear some good things. We're gonna finish up talking a little bit, but while we're doing that, give us the course and the worst score, the hole on what course, what hole you've ever had your worst score on. We want to hear some good stories, and I'll chat back at you. Steve, let's go ahead and get yours while we're here.
Yeah. Last year, one of my first times at our very wooded course, I was young, naive, and I wanted to get to the basket with every throw possible.
Which is not possible.
It's not possible. No.
There's some good 4s at Hummel.
Off of the tee pad, you basically have 20 feet of fairway to go all the way down. And it's like a 400-foot hole, at least. And it doglegs right. I basically spent the whole way down going about 25 feet at a time, just catching tree after tree after tree.
Which hole at Hummel was this?
That would be
10?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That could happen.
It was a good time. I think I racked up at least 10 strokes. And it doesn't help if you get there and you're trying to bang 15 footers and you're still missing those. So you just have to regroup, come back to the next hole. And but I went back and I've gone back to that course multiple times. And just the other night, I was finally able to take a nice solid 4, and that was like, woo, thank you.
Nice. That's a lefty-friendly hole too.
I know. That's the best part.
I'm not having anything stick out too bad. Probably the biggest number I've taken in recent memory was last year at the Wide Open, hole 9 on Swope Gold, I think it is. It's only like 320, but for Swope Gold they rope off like. There's a fence about 15 feet behind the basket, and they rope off about a 30-foot radius all the way around it in kind of a funny shape as an island. You have to hit, it's a double mando through these 2 trees. It's like a 50-foot gap, so it's not that hard to hit. And when I play that course, when it's not roped off, park that hole every time. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's 320 straight.
Yeah.
Not hard at all. But you rope it off and make it an island, and all of a sudden,
it's in your head.
I don't know what I was trying to do. I ended up like 100 feet left of the island. Like I think my thought was I was going to throw my felon on an Anheuser straight at it, let it crash in, and then I threw my felon on a Heiser, and there it went. So then you go
Stroke
to
one.
Then you go true. So one for the throw, 2 for the OB.
Okay.
Go to the drop zone. Like, okay, now it's like a 200-foot shot zone all day. Then I didn't put any ante on the zone, and there's like 20 feet left of the island.
Oh.
And you have to keep throwing from the drop zone until you hit the island.
Can you get that disc back? Or do you have to throw with what's in the bag?
See, that I'm not sure of. I'm too prideful to go walk and
Yeah.
walk back.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do something else. And then I made the island on the 3rd shot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had like a 20-foot putt. Doink it. It hits up, rolls out of bounds.
Oh.
So I didn't have to go back to the drop zone there, but I think I ended up taking like an 8 on that 320-foot.
Yep.
And that's what Swope Gold will do to you. Like, there's several holes like that on Swope Gold. There's really tight roped offness where it's not hard, but you can take some big numbers real quick. You can have what you think is a good round going, and then all of a sudden you took back-to-back 8s, and you're not happy. I like that course a lot, though. It's hard to play regular Swope because of how good Swope Gold is.
Yes.
All right. Any last thoughts on the Traveler and the Fortress compared to each other? In general, what do you think about plastic difference? Did you really notice a difference between the plastics a whole lot?
What I'm gonna say about plastics is I think Full Turn has a really good product.
Yeah,
I love how it feels.
These guys have been out for about a year. The Traveler's been released for about a year. We just now got them because I was really nervous about picking it up just because my buddy runs the company. I didn't want to spend my boss's money on something that I didn't feel really good about, that we couldn't move, but I fully believe in this product as, like, I don't care who's running the company, I'd be buying this because it's really high quality stuff. We want to get it out there, we want to grow disc golf that way. Pro Discus makes some of the best plastic in the world. I like it a lot, it's super quality.
I don't think I've felt anything like it before, the Express.
Yeah, there's old Star Plastic used to come like this every once in a while. It's a little grippier than most Star Plastic, and it just feels good. It holds up really well. It's probably the most durable plastic I've ever. Both of these are really durable, kind of flexy. But did you feel like they threw any different for you? Like we've noticed that.
I noticed the stability difference.
Which one did you think was more stable?
I thought the Express was still more stable.
You do? I know that my Blue Express is definitely more stable. I didn't feel too much difference in these, but this one's got a little more grip, so maybe that's why. Like I had a little more grip, so I got a little more pop, and they flew about the same.
Yeah.
But either one are really solid. I like these. Like I said, I like the plastic a lot. It's super good stuff. What about the Fortresses? Did you feel the plastics felt a whole lot different with those?
I think I got more distance with the Fusion. I just really liked the tournament. I'm sorry.
Same stuff, but
I'm sorry.
Officially with Westside, it's tournament plastic.
So I thought I was able to just keep it on that straight line for just a bit longer, and honestly, it was probably a difference of 10 feet. And for a 300, 250, 300-foot shot, 10 feet isn't going to make or break you unless you're trying to make it through Nate's OB.
And again, like that's about what it should be. Tournament plastic is generally slightly less overstable, goes just a little bit straighter, and holds that stability a little longer. So yeah, it's just a little bit grippier too. So that's kind of also one of those reasons that happens. You get a little bit more grip, a little more pop. But yeah, I'd say that's about right. The VIP Heiser got just a little bit harder than the tournament did. So if that weighs your decision on which disc you buy, again, you should check these out. They're a solid fit into anybody's bag. Both of these are really solid discs, and I feel like we say that a lot every week, but there's just some good stuff coming out. Like, I would throw either of these, if you made me throw these in my bag, I would. If Westside wanted to sponsor me tomorrow, I would be picking up 3 or 4 of these immediately. They're really solid discs. I like both these a lot. And we both carry Travelers, so that tells you one thing.
It's actually the first time I've ever had a Thunderbird-like disc, and I'm getting the same throws, but I think I'm just thinking of the throw a little different. I'm thinking it's going to hyzer flip on me, but then it doesn't, so I don't throw it as far as because it's just pure hyzer. I'm just throwing pure hyzer bombs at that point. So basically, all these discs, it's for a purpose. You're trying to find a disc that does what you're going to do, and for me, that's always throwing on hyzer. I don't know why. My hand just likes to stay at this angle. It works for certain shots, but then when it comes to having to throw an Annie, I'm like, all right, dude, you lean back, you do this. And so just fine, we're trying to help you guys see. Steve always throws on hyzer. What is this disc doing on hyzer? Mm-hmm. Nate is able to decide, oh, I'm going to throw this on Annie.
I throw a lot of flex shots just in my game in general.
Yeah, I'm gonna flick this, and you're gonna see how much it comes back. Or, oh man, this thing's always turning into a roller. So we're really just trying to show we're doing the science for you guys, so then you can just be like, yes, I need that, or maybe my brother needs that, maybe my sister could use that.
Becky wants to know if our distro polos are available online. I'm not sure. If they're not, they should be. And if you want one, email Steve at service@distro.com and we'll hook you up with one. Mm-hmm. They're pretty sweet. They're nice and breathable. I wear them in the shop because we don't have the greatest air conditioning. So I wear them in the summer. They keep me cool and still looking professional. So check those out. Again, if they're not online, email Steve and we'll figure it out. If you want to give us money for something, we'll find a way to get it to you. All right, let's get some of these stories in here before we go away. And we'll figure out who we're getting this to. Kyle says he took a plus 16 on 27 holes. Well, that's not one hole, Kyle. You're cheating. Josh Wagner said he shot plus 8 his first time playing on hole 11 at his hometown course. He said he bet he hit every tree on the way to the basket. That's how you take a plus 8.
I feel you.
That's about how I played last weekend. Hickman Run in Pennsylvania. Hit trees on 4 throws in a row and got a 6 on about a 300-foot hole. Shane Russell says his friend Tim at number 2 in Keene, Texas, threw 3 discs in a pond and took a 16. Ouch.
Ouch. Let alone the discs.
Yeah, that's sad. Devin, our friend Devin, says she took a 10 on hole 12 at Skyview in Norfolk, Nebraska. Tightly wooded fairway, learned her lesson in round 2 and took a 6.
There you go.
Anytime you can cut your score in half on a hole is pretty good. That's not bad. Kyle says his worst hole in that plus 16 round was hole 9. 7 shots plus 4, threw him to a creek, and then from the creek bounced off a tree into the woods. Not good.
Those are horror stories.
Yeah. What did you do, Steve? Justin Small Fry Fogelman says hole 5 at Cedar Park in Rock, North Carolina. Took an 8 on a 300-foot hole due to a well-placed turnover, skipping down the hill behind the pin and rolling 20 or 25 feet away for a 60-foot birdie with no line. Yeah, it's interesting how discs find ways into woods and then there's no way back out. There's a hole at Rosedale where I thought it threw a pretty good turnover, but apparently it kicked up, skipped, rolled through these thick bushes down like a 15-foot decline. And like I got down there and was like, how? Like how did this
I don't
get
even
down
see
here?
where this
And I
could
couldn't
have.
figure out how to get back up.
Yep.
It was no fun.
Yep.
Like it's a blind shot. You can't see the pin, the basket from the tee pad. And like after I threw it, I was like, that felt really good. I'm gonna have a birdie putt. Turned out I was 100 foot down the hill in the woods. Not fun. All right, let's see. We gotta give this to somebody. Oh, I think Tim is gonna win our disc because he needs some new plastics. What he has isn't working because he took an 18 at hole 2. Oh, hey, that's the guy from the. Looks like Shane Russell was wrong. This is the Tim from his story. He took an 18 on hole 2 and lost 3 discs. So we're gonna replace one of those for you, Tim.
That's
You're
awesome.
winning the VIP Fortress so that you can. Oh, hey, Becky, you're going to stop by the shop? Well, we'll be here. We can sell you a Distro Polo. We have those in stock. So, Tim Ladd, you won this. Congrats to all of our winners. Again, hit us up on Facebook or service@disstore.com email, and we'll get those discs out to you. Guys, keep talking to us. I'll go back and answer some of the other questions later. We're going to be back next week. I think we're going to do the Prodigy disc next week is my plan.
Yeah.
So the X4 and the X2 will be back Wednesday at 5 with This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate.
Thanks,
You guys have a good
everybody.
day.
See you next week.